Well, hello everyone. We're back and we've made our cake, and as you can see, and that was in the first video, and so this is one of our 2 layers of cake. I did it in a 9-inch pan, and I did a chocolate cake. That's in the first video. So then I made some faux but very delicious mousse, because that's what we're going to use as our center layer instead of frosting. And now I'm going to make the frosting. Everybody has their own way of making frosting, and it's kind of hard. It's to me because I don't measure. So we're going to give this measuring thing a shot. So in goes a brick of cream cheese and a stick of butter. If you're starting with that, can't be bad. And I'm going to get that blending together on high. Well, that didn't take long. Seriously, it didn't take long. But I had both of them at room temperature. I took them out this morning. And here's the thing. If you can do it, if you can think about pulling it out in the morning that you want to do it so that it can get room temperature to its own, that's a good thing. Because doing it in the microwave is a little tricky, because you can go to mush in no time. So, excuse me one second. I just wanted to get my spatula. So I'm going to pull this down, get rid of this, so that you can maybe see in here a little bit better. And I'm going to pull this down from the sides and off the beater so we can make sure that it gets all good and incorporated before we add powdered sugar to it. I want to make a chocolate frosting. And I told you that I was maybe going to make that whipped cream frosting. Well, I didn't, because at the end of the day, I didn't have what I needed to do it. So, buttercream is always good. Okay, so I'm going to whip this up just a couple more seconds. And while that's happening, I'm going to tell you about what I'm going to do to make it chocolate. I love that. Hershey's chocolate's good in about anything. And I am going to put it into the butter. Now, I know you're going to want to know how much I use. That looks good. Sorry for the disorganization, folks. But I don't usually measure when I do this. I do when I'm baking, but... So this is about 1/4 cup of Hershey's chocolate sauce. You're going to do this to as much as you like. That's what I'm going to tell you. And that's where I'll start, because I can tell you I'll probably not finish there. I like it chocolatey. And I want to beat this all together. And then I'm going to add my my powdered sugar to it. All right. There we go. Got that mixing up real good. And I have powdered sugar here. And I also have a teaspoon of vanilla. Vanilla goes in every frosting I make. So let me put that in there. And the reason I'm putting this all into the fat, meaning the cream cheese and the butter, is because I'm going to add the powdered sugar to that. And I want to make sure that it's not going to be, that I've got enough flavor in my base. And so I can gauge how much powdered sugar to use to get it to the stiffness and consistency of the frosting that I want. So that's why I'm adding that all in first. Now, folks, I'm telling you, I do not profess to be a professional. I am certainly not. I am a tried and true cook. That's how I roll. So if this isn't how you do it, then by all means, tell me how to give me your ideas. But this is how I do it. All right, that looks Just want to get that cream cheese mixed in there pretty good first. Looks pretty good to me. Oh, measure. Okay, so I'm going to put 1 cup. See, the truth is, I would just pour this until I get the consistency that I want. But for some people who are more of a novice cook, that's kind of a hard thing to say to do. So we're going to start with 2 cups. I know it'll take 2 cups. It'll probably take more, but we're going to start with 2 cups. Let's get that mixed in. And if it's too thick, we're going to add just a little pinch of milk. But when I say a little pinch, we're going to do a pinch at a time, because you can chase this whole frosting thing all day. Okay, now it's too thick, put a little milk in it. Now it's too thin. Now it's too thick, put a little milk in it. Now, so you got to kind of go easy and slow. Okay, and you know, you can see that it's up on the sides here, and I just am pulling all of that down. That's all I'm doing. Getting it off the beater so that it all gets nice and mixed in there well. Okay. Give that a few more turns. Okay, now let me see. More chocolate. More chocolate. We like ours chocolatey around here. If you're going to do chocolate, you need to do it all the way. Let that get mixed in. That really should do it. And just a little bit more powdered sugar. So I'm going to tell you that that's probably a half, maybe 3/4 of a cup. It's not quite a cup. Bear with me. It'll be just a second. There it's all coming together. Out of the way. We'll pull it down one more time. But it really looks good, to tell you the truth. It looks very good, and I'll tell you, and it tastes delicious. Another spoon. Yum. That's delicious. And I don't even need the milk, because the liquid chocolate acted as my agent to make it, you know, get creamy. But look down in there. Isn't that, I'm going to turn it just a little so you can see how smooth that is. Doesn't that look awesome? Okay, so now I'm going to get the cakes ready. I'll be right back. Okay, so we have it all nice and smooth, and here's my cake. And if you'll remember, we did parchment on it. So I'm just going to gently peel that parchment off, toss it over here, and then I'm going to put this on my little spinny plate. Now, I got this at, I'm going to tell you, Michael's, years ago, and it was not the expensive one. It's got a little rubber bottom so it grips the counter. But you know, I gotta tell you, and you will see here, I am no professional decorator, but it really does help when you're decorating to be able to spin it. So the other thing I'm going to tell you is I take some parchment paper, like, you know, one piece, and rip it into sections, and I put it on the edge of my cake. And the reason that I do that is because you'll see, I am not a big, great cake decorator, and so this kind of helps me stay in the lines, if you will. It doesn't make a mess. Oh, you know what? Sometimes I just think I'm crazy. This is not what I want to do. This is what I want to do. And I'm so sorry, because that's not my cake plate. That's just my decorating stand. So put it on your cake plate, and then put your parchment underneath. And what made me think of it is because I'm trying to keep my plate clean when I decorate it. So that's the point. Just kind of keep it going around the side, just so that, because now when you get in there with your spatula on the edges, you know, if you mess up, you're gonna gently pull these out when we're done, and it'll be on this, not on your plate. Saves a little cleanup. Okay, so if you will remember, we did we're gonna call it a faux mousse. It's not a real mousse, but it's close enough. And this is actually our chocolate pudding that we made with, I'll get it here in a minute, that we made with 2% milk and half heavy cream. So it gave it a nice light consistency, but it is pudding. And so we're going to use that for the inside of our cake. I'm going to put it around here in different spots so I don't have to drag it across my cake. So I'm going to start in the middle and pull it to the side. She will love this. She's a chocolate girl. I'm going to take this all the way up to the side because I have plenty, and it will meet up with the frosting. Put some more on here because we like big gooey centers. Right out to the side. Go. Oh, this is going to be a good one. There we go. There we go. So this was actually one of those little boxes, the smaller boxes of the instant pudding that we used. And it's just perfect. All right. Right out to the side. And nice and even. Looks good to me. Okay, so now we're going to get our other part of our cake. And once again, we're going to peel this off carefully. And which way do I want to go? That would give me a nice flat top. But you know what? I really do like a domed top. So I'm going to go this way. And I want to get it on as straight Ooh, that was good. Straight as I can. And now we're gonna go over here. I did make sure, after I took it off the beater off of it, I took my spoon here and went to the bottom of the bowl, because sometimes your paddle doesn't get all the way down to the bottom, and I just didn't want any white chunks. Now, if you've got white chunks, it's no big deal. You can pick them out if you are so inclined. I'm not always. So now I'm going to start this in the middle. And work my way out. Make sure you can see. And then I don't drop that on the floor, because that would be disaster. All right, so let's start it and drag it to the side. And then as it goes over the top, goes over the side, I just pull it on down. Can you see what I'm doing? You probably can't see this, but so from the middle on out to the side, and then on down. And any of those white spots, which are just powdered sugar, we'll address those in a minute. And all I'm doing is just pulling it from the side. And you know, if you have an offset spatula, which is what this is, that's very helpful. I will certainly say that. They're not expensive. You can get them anywhere. I think you can even get them at the grocery store. All right. We're getting there. Hang in there. This is very yummy, I have to tell you. It's very, it really gives that whole chocolate mousse feeling to it, for sure. We're gonna come back and get this top pretty, but for right now, I'm just trying to pull it to the sides, let it cascade over the side, and then get in there with my spatula and get it down the sides. You can see why this paper comes in handy, especially when I don't have a really great plate on this. I should have had, I like getting those cardboard cake rounds. Those are perfect, because first off, they're just perfect. I mean, they sit on anything. You can send them home with, you know, they're awesome. And I have a little restaurant supply store here in town, and that's where I would get it, but I was running errands and I completely forgot about it. And I'm about 10 miles from town, so I wasn't going back for it. So we're on a plate that probably isn't the right plate, but I can promise you, again, she won't care. Almost there. Can you, I don't know, can you see that side? Yeah, that side you can see. Down there at the bottom. And I want to put this up. This will be in the refrigerator. As soon as I'm done here, I'll put it in the fridge outside and let it get nice and cold. We won't have it until probably 9 o'clock tonight, so it'll have plenty of time to set up together and all that. All right. You need a little more over here. I know that this is probably boring on your end, and I'm sorry, but then to some other folks, they don't, just to have a little direction on how to do some of these things, is helpful. So I'm trying to strike a happy medium between what you want to see and what everyone wants to see, I guess. Okay, so let me scrape that off. And now I'm going to just kind of spin it and see if I can't get a pretty edge. A prettier edge anyway. I don't look for perfection because I'm not a professional. Do it the best you can. Your friends will appreciate whatever you do for them. I can promise you that. Alright, so yes, you can see some of those powdered sugar sprinkles. We're going to get rid of that. Just because I'm going to go back over this anyway. So if you've got some powdered sugar sprinkles, and the other thing that could have helped me if I would have taken 5 minutes is if I would have put a whisk, put the powdered sugar in a bowl and whisked it, and I would have whisked out these lumps, and then I wouldn't have that problem. But you know what? It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. So it really is a scrumptious cake. All right, so that's as far as this is. And so now is when I get in trouble, because now is when I'm going to gild the lily, of course. First things first, you can never go wrong with chocolate chips. So these are mini chocolate chips. So let's just do a few of those. Couldn't hurt, right? Here we go. Chocolate. Not to mention, who's going to be looking at any of those little white spots if they see chocolate chips? No one I know. All right, that looks good. More chocolate jimmies. Gotta have chocolate jimmies. And finally, and probably totally unnecessarily, this is gold, a little gold sugar. A little sparkle, because I got a sparkle. And that, my friends, is my cake. I'm going to take these out now. Here. Take that out. And voila, ta-da, our cake. What do you think? You like it? It's very, very good. I hope you try it. Sorry I had to do it in 2 videos. Sorry if it was dragging. I'm gonna make ice cream here in a minute, so I'll see you in a minute.